Apparently, Wisconsin is being called for Biden, but there are several serious issues surrounding Wisconsin that I want to get into in this video. And it looks like Trump is already starting the lawsuits and the recounts. Honestly, I can't blame him. I don't trust any of these people in the government. Hi guys, this is Katie, and I'm going to give you my insight on all kinds of stuff. Right now, it's basically politics, election, and then most important to me is stimulus to help you guys know what's coming in the pipeline for you and your money. So to support my channel, please make sure and like this video, subscribe if you haven't, hit notifications if you haven't yet so you can be notified what is coming in the pipeline for you and your money. Also, leave a comment and share the content with people you think are like-minded, you think people that you think would enjoy this, would like this kind of content, or people I could help with stimulus. I've done tons of videos on stimulus, and I have tons of tools and resources to help people. Also, I give away $100 gift cards to be eligible. You have to do the same stuff. Like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, boom, you're entered, you're eligible. That's all you have to do. Do it for every video and leave as many comments as you can. Multiple comments mean you're entered more than once. I announce winners on Monday. This week's winners, because of the election and things going on with me, it's going to be a little bit late. So in the next couple days, I will announce winners there. Okay, guys, so what am I talking about? So, as you guys know, it's been a crazy back and forth. For the most part, Trump looked like he was winning. Things have been going really well. But then, as they stopped counting most votes, all of a sudden, here come the mail-in ballots. And I'm telling you, the math to me is not adding up with this situation, which makes more and more sense why Pelosi was so HELL bent on making sure with this situation that she had something put in place that extended times or gave more credence to mail-in voting. It's not that I'm against mail-in voting, it's that we had no system set in place. Instead of, I don't know, helping us with unemployment or rent or student loans, she said no piecemeal, except for the post office, because in my opinion, I think they have a card in their back pocket to say, well, if the election doesn't go the way that we want, we're gonna try to find ways to cheat. And there is slowly some things coming out that look like things could be going down that road. What am I talking about? Well, first of all, last night, they kept calling states for Biden very quickly. I've used this example. California was at 0% recorded. They called it for Biden. Yet, states that Trump clearly won in, like Texas, they didn't call for hours and hours and hours and hours. So already, there was like a weirdness going on surrounding that. And it was just kind of like, why are they being so biased here? Like, it didn't really make sense, right? But then, when you dig deeper, overnight, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a big uptick in votes come in different places where Trump had a decent lead. And suddenly, Trump is not in the lead. And one of the big battleground states right now, as we all know, is Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a big battleground state, and there is a lot of information and rumors swirling around that. So I want to take a look. So they finally did call Wisconsin. I'm giving side eye because I don't trust anything at this point. But if you go ahead and you look at the map, when we pull up Wisconsin right here, it says, let's see, it says, you can see Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes at 99% reporting. It looks like that Joe Biden, at least so far, he has a little over 20,000, actually a little less than 20,000 of a lead, right? So there's about 20,000 votes difference, and it says 49.6% went to Joe Biden, and Donald Trump is at 48.9%. So that's at least what the news is calling right now. We still have Michigan, which again, then Michigan shot up for Joe because of the mail-in ballots, which all looks really shady to me. And he's leading there by about, 60-ish thousand votes, give or take. Nobody's still called Pennsylvania yet, and so far right now, Trump is massively in the lead, but it says 85% reporting, so who knows what magical numbers will jump up in that time. But at least there is going to be about a between 300 and 400,000 difference, so that's a pretty significant difference there when it comes to that. We have North Carolina that nobody wants to call yet, and it looks like it would be if 94% in and it's 50.1% Trump. I mean, I think that's probably clearly Trump being a winner with almost 100,000. Then we have Georgia, and with Georgia with 95% reporting, look at this. And I don't like, I'm still trying to understand why they don't want to call anything for Trump when you have 95% recording. And then, of course, they called Hawaii, but they won't call Alaska. Come on. It's just getting ridiculous at this point, in my opinion. Okay, so I want to get into some of the minutia about what's going on with Michigan and then some of these other states. Let's take a look. This is from the ChicagoTribune.com. It says, Election 2020 live updates. Trump sues in Pennsylvania and Michigan, asks for recount in Wisconsin after the AP calls the state for Biden. Joe Biden won the state of Wisconsin and its 10 electoral votes on Wednesday as the nation's attention focused on the 3 northern industrial states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. When I lived there, people would call it Pennsyltucky. And the Southwest, Nevada and Arizona, which will prove crucial in determining who wins the White House. And that's another thing. They haven't called Nevada yet, but they already called Arizona. And it looks like they're trying to call Nevada. If you guys just saw earlier, I didn't point it out, forgive me. They're trying to call all of that for Biden when it's not there yet. It's just really weird how very biased it is that nobody wants to really call anything for Trump. And if they do it much, much later. Again, it's just blatantly obvious to me. It looks weird. And this is so frustrating. I'm not like a super Trump supporter, guys. I'm not, and I'm not anti-Trump. I'm just somebody in the middle looking at this and knowing how just full of crap the left is. Not you fine people watching, the crazy people at the top. If you lean left, more power to you. I bet you're just trying to help people, and that's why you're on the left. And I appreciate that. So don't think I'm talking about you. But it's just, to me, it's glaringly obvious what they're trying to do. They use our empathy against us, which is what they've done to hijack the left. Left are good people deep down when you actually talk to them. I tell this to Republicans that I'll talk to them, like, these people are good people. They're good-hearted people. They're just being manipulative. But then the Republicans are also being manipulated too. Both sides are dirty. Ew, I did a half burp. Ow, it hurt. Y'all ever do a burp that hurts? A burp that hurts. It rhymed. I'm a burp poet. Okay, so it says the AP, gross aftertaste. I'm gonna stop talking about my body. Ugh. The AP called Wisconsin, which narrowly went for Donald Trump in 2016 at about 1:15 p.m. local time. Trump's campaign manager says the president plans to immediately request a recount in the state. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked by that. And not really, to my opinion, it's Trump. I think all of them, both sides, so they're not going to concede this. So I think we knew this was going to get crazy looking no matter where this went. Unfortunately, because welcome to modern day America 2020. And I can't even really say 2020 because it's been this way for a long time. We've been screwed with politics for so many years. It's just now coming out of the woodwork. Thank goodness. So it says past statewide recounts in Wisconsin have changed the tallies by only a few hundred votes. The Trump campaign also filed a lawsuit Wednesday in Michigan State Court, demanding access to locations where ballots are being counted in that state. The campaign said it is calling for a temporary halt in the counting until it's given meaningful access in numerous locations and allowed to review ballots that are already been opened and processed. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I think these battleground states, I don't think Trump's going to let this go, guys. And honestly, I don't think he should. I think he's going to go after this with as much power and force to make sure that there is no voter fraud and everybody is doing everything as they are supposed to do. Does that mean that's going to happen? Not necessarily. I'm just telling you what this looks like to me. So here we go. Michigan and Wisconsin turned the lightest shade of blue on results maps later Wednesday morning. The AP has not called Michigan for Biden. The same is true of Nevada, Georgia, and North Carolina. You guys saw the other video that said from North Carolina. States in which Trump is narrowly leading also have outstanding votes. It could be several days before Pennsylvania, where Trump currently leads, finishes counting mail ballots, which are thought to significantly favor Biden. The Associated Press has called the state of Arizona for Biden, but not all TV networks have done the same. That's another thing, guys. Like, you're going to see reporting. It's going to be crazy and different and spread out everywhere you look. That's another one, so pay attention to that. Neither candidate has the 270 electoral college votes needed to win the Oval Office. And as votes continue to trickle in, it's impossible. The American people could be hours or even days away from knowing who will lead their nation. The Biden campaign is signaling confidence they will meet the 270 mark in the coming days. But there is simply too much uncertainty at the moment to clearly predict a winner, and cloud of litigation hangs over the entire contest. Yep, I'll go into some of that in a minute. For years after Trump became the first Republican in a generation to capture the trio of Rust Belt states, they were again positioned to make or break a presidential election. Trump kept several states he won in 2016 that had seemed wobbly in the final days of the campaign, including Texas, Iowa, and Ohio, where Biden camp made a play. Trump cried foul over the election results, falsely claiming the process a major fraud on our nation. Well, we don't know that that's false yet. There's still a whole lot of ballots to be counted, recounts, and people to take to court, because I don't trust any of these people. We'll see. But there's no evidence of foul play in the cliffhanger. He vowed to take the election to the Supreme Court and received criticism from conservative pundits after making his comment. Why would you receive criticism over that? Why would you? And to me, again, it just shows how shady that, I know I get irritated at the Democrats, but the Republicans are just as evil. They're just more outwardly evil, where you don't have to sift through their manipulation a lot of times. The Biden campaign said it would fight any such effort to stop the counting of votes. If the president makes good on his threat to go to court to try to prevent the proper tabulation of votes, we have legal teams standing by ready to deploy to resist that effort, Biden campaign manager Jen O'Malley Dillon said in a statement, and they will prevail. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is discounting the president's claim he won the election, saying the vote count is not concluded. Mitch McConnell says, claiming you won the election is different from finishing the counting. McConnell is such, I'm sorry, y'all. And actually, no, I'm going to do that basic woman thing. Sorry, not sorry. That's one of my most irritating phrases. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. First of all, as women, why are we constantly apologizing for everything? We have to say that we apologize for not apologizing, number one. Number two, I get irritated because women aren't direct. Just be direct, girl. Say what you need to say and then just don't apologize. But at the same time, I'm compassionate with women because we've all been gaslit and conditioned to believe our voices don't matter or shouldn't be heard or they should be smaller than other people's. So I get it. I'm compassionate. It just irritates me. So claiming you won the election is different from finishing the counting. McConnell says, you should not be shocked that both sides are going to have lawyers there, he added. The courts will decide disputes. That's the way it's done in this country, of course. And I want to give you guys an update on that recount. It says Trump sues in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and asks for Wisconsin recount. So the Trump campaign said it filed lawsuits Wednesday in Pennsylvania, Michigan, laying the groundwork for contesting the outcome in undecided battleground state that could determine whether President Trump gets another 4 years at the White House. Suits in both states are demanding better access for campaign observers to locations where ballots are being processed and counted, the campaign said. The campaign is also seeking to intervene in a Pennsylvania case at the Supreme Court that deals with whether ballots received up to 3 days after the election can be counted. Deputy campaign manager Justin Clark said that's going to be a very, very interesting one. If they were, post-dated on the election day, if they can confirm they were sent out on election day, which you guys know when you send in a letter, they have that stamp that goes out same day. Are they going to take those in? Because that's been a really, really big debate where it makes us wait to know what's going on with the president. The longer we wait to know who we have as president, the more ripe it is for fraud, which I completely agree with. The campaign said it is calling for a temporary halt in the counting in both states until it is giving meaningful access in numerous locations and allowed to review ballots that already have been opened and processed. Trump is running slightly behind Democratic nominee Joe Biden in Michigan. The president is ahead in Pennsylvania, but his margin is shrinking as more mailed ballots are counted. Surprise. There have been no reports of fraud or any type of ballot concerns out of Pennsylvania. The state had 3.1 million mail-in ballots that take time to count, and an order allows them to be counted up until Friday if they are postmarked by November 3rd, which, as we know, Trump is contesting. The campaign also said it would ask for a recount in Wisconsin, a state the Associated Press called for Biden on Wednesday afternoon. Campaign manager Bill Stepien cited irregularities in several Wisconsin counties. The actions came as election officials counted votes in several undecided states that are crucial to the outcome of the presidential election. And now we also have, I'm going to give you more updates. Trump's camp says it's suing to stop Pennsylvania vote count over lack of transparency. The Trump campaign said Wednesday that it was suing to stop the vote count in Pennsylvania over what is said as a lack of transparency, and it's seeking to intervene in a Supreme Court case. Guys, I keep having more info come out. This just came out from Business Insider. Trump's taking the election results to court.
which we already know he's suing with. Like, it just, this keeps getting crazier and crazier. And I think I think they're about to call Michigan. They're about to call Michigan, it looks like, for Biden. This is, like I said, y'all, this is just getting nuts. This whole thing is just getting nuts with where this is going. Couple more things I want to go over before I go ahead and just shout out here or stop this video. Stop it. I have ads popping up. It's so annoying. So it says claims that Sharpie pens ruin Arizona ballots misses the mark. See what this is about. As states across the U.S. release vote totals for the presidential election, some social media users are falsely claiming that ballots are being invalidated in Arizona. The supposed culprit, Sharpie markers, in what's come to known as #SharpieGate. Social media posts suggest that election officials in Maricopa County provided voters with Sharpie pens, which interfere with ballots being recorded, specifically those for President Donald Trump. Arizona election officials say that voting with a Sharpie would have no impact on votes being recorded by tabulation machines. And if there was an issue, there's a process that would keep the ballots from being canceled out. So here's the facts and the claims. The claim is votes were eliminated in Arizona because people were made to use Sharpie pens to mark their ballots. This caused the tabulation machine to cancel the vote. But the fact, as Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden was declared the winner of the presidential vote in the Republican stronghold of Arizona, social media posts circulated falsely suggesting that votes for Trump were canceled because people were told to use Sharpies to fill out the ballot. But apparently that's not true. Wow. Okay, so here's another one. Trump team wants more Michigan vote inspectors. I guess that's what they're calling for now. And it says, and this is at 5 o'clock, Pennsylvania chips away at 1 million vote count amid Trump lawsuit. It says election workers across Pennsylvania chipped away at more than 1 million uncounted mail ballots Wednesday as the nation awaited results in a presidential battleground whose trove of 20 electoral votes remain the largest prize yet to be called for President Trump or native son Joe Biden. Amid legal action from the Trump campaign that Democratic Governor Tom Wolf condemned as disgraceful, workers in counting rooms throughout the state processed unending streams of paper ballots, removing them from their envelopes, flattening them, and feeding them into scanners as Pennsylvania gradually counted a vote that could prove decisive. State official counseled patience even as a winner might not be known for days. Crazy, guys. Okay, so now here's something else when it comes to Wisconsin. I do want to go over this. I might have to do a separate video on this when it comes to what's going on with the claims in Wisconsin that there is voter fraud there. It says why the AP called Wisconsin for Biden. Democratic Joe Biden has flipped the state of Wisconsin, a crucial presidential battleground that President Donald Trump carried by less than a percentage point in 2016. The Associated Press called the race for Biden after election officials said all their outstanding ballots had been counted, except for a few hundred in one township and a small number of provisional ballots around the state. The former vice president's lead there is now so grateful that there is no way the remaining votes would allow Trump to catch up. Trump's campaign had requested a recount, which a trailing candidate is allowed to do under state law if a race is within 1 percentage point. Statewide recounts in Wisconsin have historically changed the vote tally by only a few hundred votes. Biden leads by 0.624% points out of nearly 3.3 million ballots counted. The president is well within the threshold to request a recount, and we will immediately do so, Trump campaign manager Bill Stepien said in a statement. So, I don't know, guys. This is getting really, really interesting. And I also see, again, I just keep having alerts pop up because I have so many alerts on my computer. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to call it as I see it. And a lot of times when I call things, I call them right. Not all the time. But to me, like, this just seems more and more like something doesn't smell right. Something doesn't smell right. Trump had such a huge lead, and all of a sudden from these mail-in ballot issues, or not issues, but these coming in, and some that may or may not actually be legal because of it being posted on election day rather than coming in before election day, thus throwing off the election for a few days. It doesn't seem right. He was ahead in most of these states by so much that the math and the crunching of the numbers that me and other people were doing, it was like this. And I'm not even telling you because I want this so much. But I'm telling you, it was like a 4-to-1 ratio with Biden not being able to catch up. And now all of a sudden, this is happening. So I'm looking at this, one eyebrow raised, real side eye going, what is happening here? Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but there are some new reports on something that you're not going to hear almost anywhere else about some issues they're having when it comes to votes. I'm going to break this down for you really quickly. So, as we all know, over the years, there's been a lot of issues when it comes to voter fraud and people having to have IDs at the poll. Now, the left has taken this and said people shouldn't have to have state IDs or driver's licenses or passports because that is a R term, an R term. When I say the word R, it means people who might not like certain minority groups. Please infer vast amounts of people, that might make things unfair. Please infer what I'm saying because YouTube gets upset with me. So I hate that I have to talk roundabout that way, but I have to work within the confines of the tubes that I'm on. And I do love YouTube. What they basically said is many people in minority communities can't get access to IDs and therefore they shouldn't make them have them. It's that it basically would be the R word. I don't know. I can kind of see it both ways, but I also think it's ridiculous. Like, why not have a state ID? But then again, we have to pay for our IDs. If it's something that the state basically makes us have, then why aren't they free? That would be one thing that I would think, right? Let's try to do I'm always in the middle of the road. Let's try to find a good conclusion for everybody. But here's something really interesting. So how many people needed to register or registered to vote in 2020? However, you need an ID to register to vote. But how many DMVs and places are completely shut down because of the virus? So here's something I think we're going to see in the coming days as a legal argument possibly into all this because here's the thing, you guys have to think, if Trump is going to go after this legally, you got to think he's got the most brilliant minds on this case and they're coming at it from several different angles, right? And the different angles that I could see, this is one of them that nobody else is talking about. How many people registered to vote and didn't have a license or didn't have the required documentation, but everything was shut down on the government's side, so they couldn't get it? How many of those votes will actually be counted? Will those be tallied as legal votes or votes that should be thrown out? I'm not giving an opinion, by the way. I think it's a crappy situation to be put in. All I'm saying is I feel like this is one thing that we're hearing a lot about, ballot stuffing and they're coming up with ballots and they're not being counted correctly. But this is one argument I feel like we're going to hear more and more come up over the next few days. Keep this in mind. And if it does, just let it stick in your brain and remember it for next time. It's something that I kind of want to dive into a little more. And I want to see if this is going to be an argument that starts to come out. But how interesting and horrifying would that be if all of a sudden you have a ton of people and their votes now no longer count because they couldn't get to what they needed, but then the government didn't provide access to what they needed. So the government said you can't do this without a government situation sanctioned thing, but then the government doesn't allow you to get to that thing. So it's just many levels of unfair. And if the left is right in their assertion that, having to have ID just to register to vote is a form of R word, well, a lot of minorities vote for Biden. So would that then bode well for Trump or not? I don't know. By the way, I don't know. I'm not, and this isn't even an opinion. I'm just saying this is a thought that I've been having and I've kind of been contemplating and chewing on. I just think this next couple weeks is going to be really interesting. And I've had several people in the comments and they're asking me, how long is this going to go on? When are we going to know if we have a president? What is happening here? The answer is, I honest to God don't know. I don't know how long this is going to go on, but I'll tell you what I think. I don't think we're going to know who the president is until at least the end of November. And I'm not kidding. I personally think this could go on for a couple months. At least, at the minimum, I think this is going to be a couple weeks because I don't think Trump is just going to lay down and let this die and let this happen just as we know Trump as who he is. And that's not me trying to be disrespectful. It's not a diss to anybody. It's just, this is what is. Again, I know a lot of you guys think that I lean one way or the other. I don't. What I'm against is government corruption, and I see it everywhere. I'd be just as furious if I saw stuff with Biden and I was like, stuff doesn't smell right, things aren't sitting right here, as I am with Trump. Because I actually care about democracy, I care about the country, and I care about you guys having your voices heard. So this whole thing to me is frustrating to watch because it's just, watching Trump have such a lead and all of a sudden it goes down from all these mail-in ballots that we know Dirty Nancy, Nasty Nancy, Nancy Pelosi pushed so hard for. She doesn't give a crap about if we're starving or homeless, but she wants to make sure and sway the election in her favor. And why is it? Why are they so scared? Oh, why are they so scared of Trump? Why do they so vehemently hate him? Because I've seen, different sides and people not like presidents and not like things. I've never seen a hatred like this for a president. I've never seen the media, both sides, go after somebody so hard and lie about them so hard repeatedly. It doesn't mean Trump is perfect. I am not saying that. And yeah, he doesn't say stupid stuff. He exaggerates to lies all the time. That's part of the business vibrato he does, right? But honestly, I think a lot of us look at it and say we'd rather have that than the evil stuff we know is happening. At least that's a wild card. And that's how a lot of people look at it. And I don't think this is over. I don't think this is over by a long shot. And again, I'm not some delusional person who just wants my person to win. I'm telling you guys from somebody who's trying to be as unbiased as possible, that's just looking at this knowing that they're all corrupt and and Trump shouldn't be president, right? Biden way shouldn't either. I'm looking at it from somebody from that angle, and that's how I try to come at this and tell you guys. But I guess we'll just have to like the rest of 2020, we're just gonna have to wait and see how much we get screwed over in the process, unfortunately. Okay guys, if you like this video, please help me out and give me a big thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications so you can be notified daily what is coming up pipeline for you and your stimulus money and elections, politics, everything in between. Also guys, sound off in the comments, leave as many comments as you can. It helps the channel. Share this content with people you think would be interested in it. And please guys, if you can, like I said, share the content. All of this helps and I'm just grateful for anything. And guys, the more you like, subscribe, comment, hit notifications, share the content, the more the channel grows, the more things I can do to give back to you guys. Like I said, I give away $100 gift cards on Monday. Very simple to be eligible. This is all you have to do. Like every video you see, subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit notifications if you haven't yet so you can be notified what's coming in the pipeline for you and your stimulus or political money or everything in between. Also, sound off in the comments. The more comments you leave, the better. And the more comments you leave, the more times you share this, the more videos you like, the more chances you have to win. So go nuts in the comments. And guys, please share this content with as many people as you can. And then typically I will announce a winner on Monday for the $100 gift card. I am late this week, so stay tuned for this week's videos. I will announce a winner sometime in there for this week. Also, guys, find me on Facebook. I am Katie's Insight on Facebook. Like the page, join the group. Now, the group is called Katie's Corner. It'll be changed to Katie's Insight soon, but go in the group, share all the stimulus, political news you want. We're all helping each other through a very difficult time. It's one big, awesome party, and we would love to see you there. I am overtalked. I am so exhausted. I think this is video 4 today, so I am going to go take a break, and I'm going to try to drink some tea, and I hope you guys can all relax, too, because this ain't over, unfortunately. All right, guys, lots of love. Take care, blessings. I will see you all soon. Mwah. Big kisses and hugs. Bye, guys.